Some Mondays feel routine, but this one feels like a beginning. Welcome back, or welcome for the very first time, to Round Ball Rants. I'm your host, Vincent Cooper, and today is special. It's a new week, a fresh slate, and the kind of Monday where the NBA gives us stories that hit different. The NBA Cup just delivered a weekend full of pressure moments, statement wins, and teams who either stepped up or stepped back. And now on Monday, we get to sort through the truth. But before we dive into the Cup chaos, this is Round Ball Rants' official debut on iTunes. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts for the very first time, thank you. Thank you for giving this show your time, your trust, and your attention. This podcast started as a passion and became a daily grind, and now it's becoming a platform, a home, a community. On iTunes, you can now subscribe, drop a review, and join this little basketball therapy session we've been building, day by day, episode by episode. So to the new listeners, to the longtime supporters, and to every Hooper fan and storyteller who found us here today, welcome. You are officially a part of Round Ball Rants. And hey, none of this happens without support. So today's episode is brought to you by Dubby Energy, our official partner. Clean energy, no jitters, no crash, and every time you use the promo code RoundBallRants at dubby.gg, you help keep this show moving, from the microphone to your speakers. That black banner, yeah, the one with the smiley and the bold yellow, that's us. We're officially sponsored, officially locked in, and officially proud. All right, now that we're here, let's hoop. Let's start in Charlotte, because if we're being honest, the Hornets didn't just need a win, they needed oxygen. They came into Friday dragging a 7-game losing streak behind them like a very heavy weight. Every possession looked heavy. The vibe around the team was heavy. And on Cup night, in a game where pressure is supposed to expose you, the Hornets did something different. They fought back. Charlotte beat Chicago 123-116, and the box score only tells half the story. Brandon Miller, 27 points. He didn't just score, he looked decisive and confident. He looked like a guy who's tired of waiting for permission to take over. You could feel it in the way he attacked the mismatches, in the way he hunted shots, and in the way his teammates actually trusted him with the ball in big moments. And here's the thing, Charlotte didn't play perfect basketball. They still had defensive lapses, they still gave up some unnecessary runs, but this was the first time in a while where they didn't fold when the game got uncomfortable. They responded, they counterpunched. And for a team that's been stuck in cycles of frustration, that response matters more than anything on the stat sheet. Cup nights have a way of forcing teams to confront themselves, and Friday night, Charlotte finally looked back and they didn't blink. Spurs 139, Nuggets 136. Oh man, this game. San Antonio didn't just win. They survived a storm and then became the storm. Down 18 in Denver. A building where young teams traditionally drown. The Spurs could have let go of the rope. They could have said, it's Denver, it's altitude, it's Jokic, it's cup pressure, it's not our night. But instead, they clawed back 139-136. That's a full-on gut check. This wasn't some fluky comeback. This was organized chaos. Defensive switches tightened, ball pressure increased, young legs started flying around, and suddenly Denver, the stable, steady, structured Denver Nuggets, looked rattled. What impressed me the most wasn't the scoring or the runs, or even the road environment. What impressed me was the fight. The Spurs leaned into the adversity instead of running from it. And on Cup weekend, that's a sign. That's what I call identity basketball. Everyone wants to talk about talent. Everybody wants to talk about the future. But when a young team pulls off a win like that, down 18 on the road against a Cup contender, that's not potential. That's foundation. That's culture starting to appear in San Antonio. Lakers 129, Mavericks 119. Some wins feel routine. Some wins feel dramatic. And then there are games like this, where the result tells you more about the temperature of a franchise than the final score. The Lakers beat the Mavericks 129-119. And you know what this game said to me? Legacy doesn't need permission. It just shows up. Austin Reeves dropped 38. Luka went for 35 and 11. Big numbers, big moments, big stars showing out on a Cup stage. And what I love about it is this. Both teams came in knowing this game mattered for real. The Cup, it isn't preseason. The Cup isn't an exhibition game. These guys treated Friday like a measuring stick. What separated the Lakers in this one wasn't a scoring burst or a random hot streak or a lucky bounce. It was professionalism, situational awareness. They executed late, they closed out possessions, they made smart rotations. They controlled the pace of the game. Dallas is talented, extremely talented, but the Lakers played like a team that knows what winning feels like. They know what the air is like in high-stakes moments. And on Cup night, that experience showed up. Thunder 123, Suns 119. There are flashy teams. There are loud teams. Then there's Oklahoma City, a team that embodies calm, precision, and championship composure. These aren't kids trying to prove they belong anymore. They're the defending champions. And on Friday night, they played like it. They beat Phoenix 123-119, stayed unbeaten in Cup play, and SGA casually delivered 37 points and 8 assists without ever looking rushed, rattled, or overwhelmed. This is what championship DNA looks like in November. No panic, no overreactions, no ego, just focus. Phoenix threw punches, Phoenix hit tough shots, Phoenix made runs. OKC just absorbed it and answered and closed out. That's the Thunder advantage. They don't need theatrics. They don't need the headlines. They win because they stay themselves when everyone else starts pressing. Hawks 130, Cavaliers 123. The Hawks beating the Cavaliers 130-123 wasn't the shock. What happened inside the score is the real story. Donovan Mitchell had 42, an absolutely explosive night. He showed up ready to hoop, but the Cavs as a unit, they didn't look connected. They didn't look confident, and they didn't look ready for the Cup stakes. Cup nights don't care about your preseason predictions. They don't care about your roster on paper, and they certainly don't care about your individual shot creators. Cup nights ask one question: can you handle the urgency? Atlanta did. Cleveland didn't. The Hawks tightened rotations. They made adjustments on the fly. Their secondary players made big plays in big moments. This was a complete team win. Cleveland, too many empty possessions. Too many late clock isolations. Too many defensive breakdowns. That's not talent. That's chemistry. And chemistry is what Cup basketball exposes the fastest. The rest of Friday's results: Orlando Magic 112, Detroit Pistons 109, Desmond Bane had 37 points. Philadelphia 76ers 117, Brooklyn Nets 103, Tyrese Maxey with 22, 9, and 7. Utah Jazz 128, Sacramento Kings 119, Keontae George had 31 points, Zach LaVine chipped in 34. Indiana Pacers 119, Washington Wizards 86, Pascal Siakam 24 and 11. New York Knicks 118, Milwaukee Bucks 109, Jalen Brunson drops 37, Giannis returns with a 30, 15, and 8 game. Memphis Grizzlies 112, LA Clippers 107, Jaren Jackson Jr. with 24, Kawhi Leonard with 39. This weekend didn't just give us hype, it gave us honesty. It showed us which teams want the moment and which teams want the credit. It showed us which stars play for stats and which stars play for the moment. It showed us young teams that aren't waiting their turn and veteran teams still trying to remember who they are. It showed us identities forming and identities cracking. And most importantly, it showed us who believes in themselves right now. Because Cup pressure doesn't lie. It doesn't flatter. It doesn't sugarcoat. It tells you the truth loudly. And this weekend, the truth showed up. All right. Now, while that wraps up Friday, and don't worry, the rest of the weekend is coming. We'll hit Saturday and Sunday right after this. But first, everything that happened this weekend runs through one thing: the NBA Cup knockout round. Before we go any further, let's break down the path every team is chasing right now. Let's take a breath, because we need to reset the stage. Everything we just talked about, Friday's chaos, Saturday's grind, Sunday's revelations, all of it funnels into this moment. Because as of right now, we are staring directly at the business end of the NBA Cup knockout round. And I'm not being dramatic when I say this. This thing is becoming real. This isn't a sideshow anymore. It isn't a marketing experiment. It isn't even a mid-season gimmick. The Cup is becoming a legitimate trophy, and the knockout round is where you earn it. You know what I love most about this bracket? Every single team left standing had to earn it. We're not talking about lottery fluff. We're not talking about teams sleepwalking through November. These 8 didn't fall into the knockout round. They fought their way here. Orlando Magic, undefeated. Toronto Raptors, undefeated. Oklahoma City Thunder, undefeated. Los Angeles Lakers, undefeated. 4 perfect teams. 4 teams that treated the cup like a mission, not a sideshow. And then there are the wild cards, the real fighters. Miami Heat, New York Knicks, Phoenix Suns, San Antonio Spurs. 8 teams, 8 different identities, 8 different motivations, but one shared weight. You lose now, and it's over. People always ask me, Vincent, why should the cup matter? Why should fans care about a trophy that's awarded in December? Do you want the answer? Because pressure reveals the truth. The cup forces urgency in a league that tends to sleep until about Christmas. It forces teams to find chemistry early. It forces stars to compete like it's April. It forces coaches to make decisions that they normally save for the springtime. And the knockout round, it's the moment the cup stops being an idea and starts becoming a measuring stick. And you couldn't script a better contrast. Orlando comes in undefeated, young and fearless, soaking up the cup like it's their proving ground. They want validation. Miami, they're past validation. They're after reputation. They live for pressure. They thrive in intensity. They don't blink when the stakes rise. This game is youth waving the flag of possibility against a team that was forged in fire. And then Knicks fans say it loud. We want the moment. Raptors fans say it calm. We've been here before. Both undefeated in group play. Both believe that they belong here. But belief isn't composure. New York brings emotion. Toronto brings discipline. And when the cup brightens the lights, discipline tends to win. And then this next matchup is pure basketball poetry. Phoenix brings raw offensive firepower, a team that can detonate at any moment. Oklahoma City, different energy entirely. They're not guessing who they are. They know. They're the defending champions, and they play like it. Cool, poised, dangerous in silence. This isn't going to be one with highlights. It's going to be one with temperament. And the last one. This one feels like legacy versus evolution. San Antonio is young, energetic, unafraid. Their identity is growing game by game. The Lakers, legacy, experience, pride. Nobody has played more elimination-style basketball than the guys in purple and gold. This is a philosophical clash. Can youth break through tradition? Or does tradition remind them what pressure really feels like? The storylines the cup is forcing to the surface. December pressure that feels like May. These games feel like playoff previews, not in atmosphere, but in meaning. Who treats December like April? And you can fool people with talent in November, but you can't fool pressure. You either fit or you fracture. And then some guys, they chase the moment. Some guys run from it. And the cup exposes all of that fast. And the cup doesn't care about names. It cares about execution. The team whose 5th and 8th men deliver under pressure, that's the team that advances. And if you win in the quarterfinal, you get a plane ticket to Las Vegas. That's where the lights get brighter, the pressure gets louder, the narratives get heavier. December 13th is the semifinals, December 16th the final. And whoever walks out with that trophy, they're carrying something more valuable than a banner. Belief, real belief, the kind you earn, the kind that you can use in March, April, and maybe even June. And this isn't a novelty. This isn't a gimmick. This isn't a shift in the league's DNA. The cup is demanding urgency. It's demanding identity. It's demanding courage. And the knockout round is where all those masks start to fall off. You don't luck your way here. You don't survive by accident. You've earned it, possession by possession. And now, Vegas is waiting. The trophy is waiting. We find out who really wants it. All right, let's get into Saturday now. A full slate, big performances, close finishes, and a couple of games that told us something real about who these teams are becoming. Let's start with 3 games that define the night. Pacers 103, Bulls 101. This is one of those games that tells you who a team is made of. Indiana edges Chicago 103-101, and they had to dig deep to get there. Chicago stormed into the fourth with a 15-2 run, flipped the game on its head, and put all the pressure on the Pacers. A younger or less disciplined team folds right there, but Indiana didn't. Pascal Siakam ends the night with 24-9 and knocks down the game winner. A smooth 14-footer with 1 second left. It's trust, it's composure, that's leadership. Isaiah Jackson was huge off the bench, 14-11, nonstop energy. Ben Mathurin added 19 with confidence and aggression. This was a maturity win, a we can't close tight games win. Pistons 138, Heat 135. This was the track meet of the night. Detroit survives Miami 138-135, and the game felt like every possession came with sparks attached. Cade Cunningham, 34 points, controlled the entire operation. He dictated pace, hit big shots, and carried himself like a franchise guy Detroit needs him to be. Miami brought heavy artillery of their own. Andrew Wiggins, 31 points, attacking all night. Norman Powell, 28, physical and efficient. Tyler Herro, 24, hitting 6 of 11 from deep. Bam Adebayo, 15, steady production inside, and the bench contributions mattered. Kyle Ware with 12, Dominic Smith with 9, Larson with 7. Miami shot 50% overall, 48% from 3, and still couldn't take it. Detroit made the last 2 winning plays. That was the difference. Not luck, but execution. Timberwolves 119, Celtics 115. This was a heavyweight game of the night, and Minnesota walked into Boston and punched back. 119-115. Wolves win it, and they did it with control. Anthony Edwards played like the star he is, 39 points. Attacking, reading the floor, setting the tone. He didn't force, he led. Boston had their runs because that's who they are, but Minnesota stayed level. They got stops, they made timely buckets, they closed final minutes with discipline. This is a Minnesota team growing into its identity, confident, composed, and capable of winning a tough one on the road. Other Saturday results: Hornets 118, Raptors 111. Charlotte, Grant Williams 21 points, 5 rebounds. Toronto, Scotty Barnes 30 points, 10 assists. Bucks 116, Nets 99. Giannis adds 22 and 9. Kessler Wolf 12 and 11 for Brooklyn. Warriors 104, Pelicans 96. For Golden State, Jimmy scores 22 and 7. And Marshall for New Orleans with 21 and 5. Nuggets 130, Suns 112. Nikola Jokic 26 points, 10 assists, 8 rebounds. Devin Booker 24 points, 4 rebounds. Mavericks 114, Clippers 110. For Dallas, Jamal Murray 24 points, 6 assists, and for the Clippers, Ivica Zubac 23 points, 12 rebounds. We'll hit Sunday the second those box scores go live. Same structure, same detail, same verified accuracy. What Saturday taught us? Saturday wasn't noise, it was information. Indiana showed grit, Detroit showed growth, Minnesota showed maturity. And across the league, teams revealed who's developing, who's steady, and who's struggling to keep pace. A strong Saturday and a strong snapshot of where things stand. Now we're going to take a moment to look at Sunday's games. Atlanta Hawks 142, Philadelphia 76ers 134 after 2 overtimes. This wasn't a basketball game, this was a stress test. A biometric study of 2 teams refusing to let early season narratives harden in November. Atlanta walks out with the win because Trae Young decided the night belonged to him. 45 points and 15 assists, controlling the entire emotional rhythm of the game. Jalen Johnson and DeJounte Murray made every timely play in double overtime, the quiet margins that separate wins from losses. Tyrese Maxey was brilliant, 41 points, a performance that screams franchise pillar. But without Embiid, Philly lacked that second late clock pressure valve. They manufactured good looks, not great ones, and in double overtime game, that's fatal. Atlanta earned the win. Philly survived the war, but both learned something about themselves. Minnesota Timberwolves 125, San Antonio Spurs 112. Minnesota played like a team that knows exactly who it is. Anthony Edwards, 32 points, came with superstar calm. No wasted motion, no searching, just control. Karl Anthony Towns stretched the floor, punished mismatches, and dictated San Antonio's defensive coverage from the jump. Victor Wembanyama posted 25 points and 12 rebounds, but Minnesota's veteran physicality forced him 2 steps off his spot all night. The real issue for San Antonio was the guard play. No one consistently bent Minnesota's defense, leaving Wemby to bail out late possessions. Minnesota sharpened itself. San Antonio learned how far the climb still is. New York Knicks 116, Toronto Raptors 94. This was a statement. New York dominated from the opening quarter, both physically and structurally. Karl Anthony Towns delivered 31 points in full rhythm. Trail threes, post seals, face-ups, everything was flowing. Jalen Brunson added 28 as the Knicks controlled pace and punished every Toronto mistake. The Raptors struggled to generate organized offense. Scotty Barnes fought for 22 points and 9 rebounds, but New York dictated the terms of engagement the entire way. The Knicks looked like a team finding its chemistry, while Toronto looked like a team still searching for its map. The remaining games from Sunday: Rockets 129, Jazz 101. Kevin Durant 25 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Ace Bailey with 19 points for the Jazz. Celtics 117, Cavaliers 115. Peyton Pritchard 42 points on 6 threes. Cavaliers' Evan Mobley chipped in 27 with 14 boards. Thunder 123, Trail Blazers 115. SGA 26 points. Blazers Denny Avdija 21 points, 19 boards, 10 assists. Triple-double on the night. Grizzlies 115, Kings 107. Zach Edey chipped in 32, 17, and 5 blocks. And for the Kings, it was DeMar DeRozan, 23 points, 3 steals. Lakers 133, Pelicans 121. Lakers' Luka Doncic had 34 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists. Bryce McGowan's 23 points for the Pelicans. And that wraps up your Sunday in the association. You know, sometimes a weekend doesn't just give you scores, it gives you the truth. And this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, for 3 straight days, the league couldn't hide from who it really is. Because the divide in the NBA right now isn't between contenders and pretenders. It's not between the top seeds in the middle of the pack. It's not even about talent. It's about identity. Who knows who they are and who's still pretending? Let's rewind. Friday didn't scream. Friday whispered. Milwaukee looked like Milwaukee again. Structured, composed, everything running through Giannis with a purpose. Orlando dictated pace like a team that expects to win. And Dallas closed strong because they know exactly who they can trust late. But Chicago, Portland, Washington, Utah, a lot of effort, not a lot of direction. Friday was the first hint that some teams have a blueprint and others are throwing darts in the dark. And then Saturday took that whisper and put it on a megaphone. Indiana didn't just beat Chicago, they solved Chicago. Down 15-2 to start the fourth, all the momentum gone, and they didn't panic. Siakam stepped forward, Mathurin stayed confident, Isaiah Jackson kept attacking. That is a team building a backbone. Minnesota walked into Boston and matched the Celtics' discipline shot for shot. Anthony Edwards didn't just drop 39, he controlled the game like a superstar who finally understands the weight of leadership. And then Detroit went into a firefight with Miami and came out with poise. Cade Cunningham didn't blink, he didn't rush, he didn't step outside himself, he played like the best player on the court, and his team believed him. Denver looked like Denver, Dallas looked like Dallas. Charlotte found overtime composure, and teams with identity played with identity. Meanwhile, Phoenix, all offense, no bones underneath it. Brooklyn, playing hard, but with no compass. New Orleans, flashing talent without direction. And the Clippers, competitive, but where's the belief? Where's the foundation? Where is the voice? Saturday made something clear. You can't fake identity. And Sunday, Sunday sealed it. Houston blasts Utah 129-101. One team knows exactly how it wants to play. The other is still searching for daylight. Boston edges Cleveland in a tight one, proving once again that real identity shows up within 24 hours of a bad loss. The Knicks suffocate Toronto 116-94, structure, overpowering uncertainty. And Atlanta outlasts Philly in double overtime. The Hawks knew who they were in winning time. The Sixers didn't. OKC handles Portland, another brick in their foundation. Sacramento slips again. Their identity from 2 years ago now is nowhere to be found. And Minnesota doubles down with another win, this time over the Spurs. reinforcing everything that they showed Saturday. And the Lakers? A definitive, structured, veteran win over New Orleans, a team that still hasn't figured out who they want to be. Sunday didn't just contradict the weekend. Not at all. Sunday confirmed it. After 3 days, here's the reality. The NBA isn't separating by talent, it's separating by identity. Teams that know who they are. Minnesota, Indiana, Detroit, Denver, Dallas, Boston, Oklahoma City, New York, the Lakers, and Houston. They play with clarity, with role definition, with purpose, with late game conviction. And teams that don't, Toronto, Brooklyn, Phoenix, New Orleans, Sacramento, Portland, Utah, they play with flashes, with effort, with noise, but not with the truth. Because here's what this weekend showed. Close games don't lie. Overtime doesn't lie. Back-to-backs don't lie. Identity doesn't lie. You can't hide from who you are in this league. Not for 3 straight days, not across 11 games, not when the pressure hits. Some teams are building something real. Some teams are hoping for it. And some teams are hoping no one notices the cracks. But this weekend noticed. The league showed its truth. And now we get to see who does something about it moving forward. After a weekend like this one, watching team after team rise or crumble under the weight of the moment, I kept coming back to the same idea. Pressure doesn't create identity, it reveals it. Look at Minnesota. Boston punched them. They punched back. Look at Indiana. Chicago hit them with a 15-2 run, and instead of folding, they leaned into who they've been trying to become. Look at Detroit. Miami threw every weapon they had at them, and Cade stood tall in the fire. And look at teams like OKC, Houston, the Lakers, New York. They didn't just win basketball games. They showed us who they are when things tighten. Pressure gave them clarity. And that's not just a basketball thing. That's a life thing. Every one of us hits moments where the game speeds up, where the crowd gets loud, where the world feels like it's closing in on us, where the scoreboard stops caring about how tired you are or how long the week has been. And in those moments, you find out exactly who you are. Not when it's easy, not when you're up 20, not when everything is falling your way. You find out in the fourth quarter when you're gasping for air, in overtime when your legs are gone, in the grind when doubt starts whispering louder than belief. That's where identity lives, and that's where this show lives too. Round Ball Rants was built under pressure. Late nights, early mornings, deadlines, uploads, fixing mistakes, learning as we go, showing up even when the metrics don't love us back yet. But every time the pressure hits, it sharpens us. Every time the moment gets heavy, the voice gets clearer. And that's the same thing that I want for everyone that's listening to us right now, whether it's Spotify, YouTube, iTunes. If you're in a tough stretch right now, if something in your life feels like the fourth quarter of a back-to-back, breathe, lean in, because pressure isn't the enemy. Pressure is the truth teller. It's the place where identity finally introduces itself. So keep going, keep fighting, keep believing in the version of yourself that shows up when everything else gets way too loud. And if you need a little boost along the way, you already know our family over at Dubby, they've got your back. Go to dubby.gg, use your code RoundBallRants at checkout, and fuel the grind the right way. And hey, I really want to hear from you. Call me up at 216-452-8813. Tell me what pressure taught you this weekend. Tell me where you're growing. Tell me what clarity is revealing in your life. Because around here, it's not just basketball. It's therapy with a bounce. I'm Vincent Cooper, and this was Round Ball Rants. Thank you for listening.